Fidel Castro, a Cuban revolutionary, overthrew dictator Batista in 1959. Castro established a communist government, nationalizing previously American industries. Eisenhower didn't like having a communist government so close to the US, and US businesses that used to operate in Cuba were losing money. For the next 2 years, the CIA and the State Department would try to overthrow Castro. When JFK took office in '61, he inherited the CIA's planned invasion of Cuba. While he didn't want direct military action there, CIA officers convinced him he could keep America's involvement a secret. The plan relied on using Cuban exiles to fight. Firstly, on April 16th, the exiles would carry out an air raid on Castro's air force, wiping out Cuba's air power before the ground invasion. However, Castro found out about the raid and moved his planes out of the way. JFK started having doubts, but it was too late to cancel. The attempted invasion started the next day, April 17th, at the Bay of Pigs, Cuba's southern shore. The CIA failed to spot a radio station on the shore, and the invasion was broadcast to all of Cuba. Invading ships were sunk by coral reefs, paratroopers landed in the wrong spot, and 114 attackers were killed, with over 1,100 taken prisoner. It was a humiliating defeat for America. In 1962, Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev, looking to expand the USSR's nuclear capabilities, installed Soviet missiles in Cuba, 90 miles from the coast of Florida, partially to deter American aggression after the attempted invasion of Cuba. On October 14th, an American spy plane spotted the missiles in Cuba. When JFK was informed 2 days later, he gathered an executive committee, or EXCOM as he called it, to decide on a response. On October 22nd, JFK gave a television address in which he issued an ultimatum to the USSR and announced an American naval blockade of Cuba. Many Americans panicked, some hoarding food and gas in preparation for war. 2 days later, Soviet ships neared the site of the blockade and brought the issue to a standoff. On October 27th, an American reconnaissance plane was shot down over Cuba, the only casualty of the crisis. The US readied an invasion force that would move into Cuba at a moment's notice. Nuclear fears intensified around the world. Finally, after 2 separate letters from Khrushchev with 2 sets of demands, JFK agreed to a deal with the Soviets. The USSR removed their missiles from Cuba, while the US promised not to invade and secretly removed their own missiles from Turkey. The Cuban Missile Crisis led to the creation of the Red Phone, a hotline from Washington to Moscow intended to prevent similar conflicts. Both nations signed nuclear treaties, while the removal of missiles from Cuba inspired the USSR to invest in longer-range missiles.
Created using Powtoon.